Hello everyone. I'm here with Sunday special class for NET JRF aspirants. This class is also for those who are attending any competitive exams of English literature, be it SET, KTET, CTET, SLET, any exams. Okay, so last Sunday we started with the early English literature and we are continuing. So there were three social classes at that time: aristocracy, episcopacy, and peasantry. Aristocracy, there comes the king, ruled by divine right theory. Barons owned large portions of king's land called manors. And after king comes knights. A boy under training as a knight is called squire. Then there are also songs about knights sung by troubadours. Under episcopacy comes the people of church, bishops, clergymen, nuns, priests, etc. And peasantry, the lower strata of the society, that is the peasants, the workers, come under that group. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the Crusades. There were 9 Crusades from 11th century to 13th centuries to recapture Jerusalem and the Holy Land from Muslim rule. So the major events during that time, during the ancient period, was first of all Great Famine from 1315 to 1317. Then there was Black Death from 1348 onwards. Then 100 Years' War was from 1337 to 1453. It was between England and France. Then Peasants' Revolt. It was in 1381. Then Fall of Constantinople, 1453. Invention of printing, 1456. And there were Wars of Roses from 1455 to 1485. Then another major thing was movable printing was introduced in Europe by Johannes Gutenberg, and the first book to be printed was the Vulgate Bible. William Caxton also founded his printing press in England, Westminster, and the first book was an edition of the Canterbury Tales. Shakespeare's plays are centered on the major kings of that time. King John, Richard II, Henry IV, Part 1 and 2, Henry V. He's presented as the ideal king. Then Henry VI, Part 1, 2, 3, and Richard III. Then Christopher Marlowe also wrote about Edward II. Okay, now we are moving on to another topic called dream allegory. Dream allegory means the narrator falls asleep on a May morning and then he is led by a guide in the dream. He will be on a spring landscape. Famous examples for dream allegories are Roman de la Rose, The Divine Comedy, Piers Plowman, The Pearl, etc. So, dream allegory was very, prevalent at that time. And also chivalric romances. That means a man falls in love with an aristocratic lady, usually a married woman. So there a secret affair goes on. For example, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, Le Mordier, etc. So next is very important, Dante's The Divine Comedy. Dante belonged to the White Guelphs. He wrote the first sonnets in the world literature to his lover Beatrice. And coming to the Divine Comedy, it deals with life after death. Dante is the chief character. Divine Comedy is divided into three parts: Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. It is written in terza rima. It has 100 cantos, 34 in Inferno, 33 each in Purgatorio and Paradiso. Number 3 is significant in this work. Holy Trinity, 9 circles of hell, 9 levels of paradise, and Satan is seen as a 3-headed monster. So let me tell you the summary of Divine Comedy. It is written in the first person. The poet tells of Dante's journey through the 3 realms of the dead, lasting from the night before Good Friday to the Wednesday after Easter in the spring of 1300. The Roman poet Virgil guides him through hell and purgatory. Beatrice, Dante's ideal woman, guides him through heaven. Beatrice was a Florentine woman whom he had met in childhood and admired from afar in the mode of the then fashionable courtly love tradition, which is highlighted in Dante's earlier work, La Vita Nuova. The core 7 sins within purgatory correspond to a moral scheme of love perverted, subdivided into 3 groups corresponding to excessive love, lust, gluttony, greed, then deficient love, sloth, and malicious love, wrath, envy, pride. The last word in each of the 3 canticles is stelle, means stars. So, what you can see in Inferno is the poem begins with on the night before Good Friday in the year 1300, halfway along our life's path. Dante is 35 years old, half of the biblical lifespan of 70, lost in dark wood. So it can be understood as sin, assailed by beasts, a lion, a leopard, and a she-wolf. So he cannot evade and he is unable to find the straight way. Also, we can say that a right way to salvation. So it is symbolized by the sun behind the mountain. He is conscious that he is ruining himself and that he is falling into a low place where the sun is silent. Dante is at last rescued by Virgil, and the 2 of them begin their journey to the underworld. Each sin's punishment in Inferno is a symbolic instance of a poetic justice. For example, fortune tellers have to walk with their heads on backwards, unable to see what is ahead, because that was what they had tried to do in life. They were foreseeing the future. Allegorically, the Inferno represents a Christian soul seeing sin for what it really is. And the 3 beasts represent 3 types of sin: the self indulgent, the violent, and the malicious. So, these 3 types of sins also provide the 3 main divisions of Dante's hell: upper hell, outside the city of Dis, for the 4 sins of indulgence: lust, gluttony, avarice, and anger. Then there is circle 7 for the sins of violence, and circle 8 and 9 for the sins of malice, fraud, and treachery. So, added to these, there are 2 unlike categories that are specifically spiritual. Limbo in circle 1. It contains virtuous pagans who were not sinful but were ignorant of Christ. And circle 6 contains heretics who contradicted the doctrine and confused the spirit of Christ. Only main points are being discussed here, okay? Now we are moving on to Purgatorio. So, having survived the depths of hell, Dante and Virgil ascend out of the dark gloom of the mountain of Purgatory on the far side of the mountain. The mountain is on an island. the only land in the southern hemisphere, created by the displacement of rock, which resulted when Satan's fall created hell, which Dante portrays as existing underneath Jerusalem. So the mountain has 7 terraces corresponding to the 7 deadly sins or 7 roots of sinfulness. The classification of sin here is more psychological than that of the Inferno, being based on motives rather than actions. It is also drawn primarily from Christian theology rather than from classical sources. However, Dante's illustrative examples of sin and virtue draw on classical sources as well as on the Bible and on contemporary events. Love is a theme throughout Divine Comedy. It is particularly important for the framing of sin on the mountain of purgatory. Then he comes to Paradiso. After an initial ascension, Beatrice guides Dante through the 9 celestial spheres of heaven. And these are concentric and spherical, as in Aristotelian and Ptolemaic cosmology. While the structures of the Inferno and Purgatorio were based on different classifications of sin, the structure of the Paradiso is based on the 4 cardinal virtues and the 3 theological virtues. So Dante meets and converses with several great saints of the church, including Thomas Aquinas, Bonaventure, Saint Peter, and Saint John. The Paradiso is consequently more theological in nature than the Inferno and Purgatorio. However, Dante admits that the vision of heaven he receives is merely the one his human eyes permit him to see. And thus, the vision of heaven found in the cantos is Dante's personal vision. The Divine Comedy finishes with Dante's seeing the triune God. In a flash of understanding that he cannot express, Dante finally understands the mystery of Christ's divinity and humanity, and his soul becomes aligned with God's love. Okay, next important writer is Giovanni Boccaccio. His first Italian prose romance was Filocolo. First Italian verse romance was Philostrato. Then there is a poem on the story of Theseus, Palamon, and Arcite, Taecida, and it is retold by Chaucer as the Knight's Tale. Then Giovanni Boccaccio wrote a biography of Dante. He invented ottava rima. Decameron is written by Giovanni Boccaccio. There are 100 stories told over a period of 10 days by 10 people. There were 7 women and 3 men. Then another important writer is Francisco Petrarch. He is known as the father of humanism. He perfected the sonnet, the 14 lines of iambic pentameter, and his famous work is Familiar Letters. So that's all for today. So today we discussed on the 3 social classes, the major crusades and events that happened during time. Then some major important topics, dream allegory, chivalric romances, then Dante's The Divine Comedy, and at last Giovanni Boccaccio and Francisco Petrarch. So happy Sunday, keep learning, stay safe, bye.